Hey everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome to another video. First of all, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to show you an easy vegan meal prep. So like all of my other meal prep videos, I'm going to show you a recipe that you can make for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to get you through the work week. Obviously, you can take this like as is and make these meals all on your own and have a meal prep, or you can simply take this as inspiration, mix and match, swap the lunch for dinner. Do whatever works best for you. As always, all the full recipes are going to be linked below. And the special thing about this meal prep, it's vegan, obviously, and it's really tasty, obviously. But this time, I decided to challenge myself and do one that was soy-free. So personally, I don't have a problem with soy. I eat soy all the time, but I know some people try to avoid it or may have an allergy to it. So I thought it would be fun to come up with some wholesome, delicious, and nutritious plant-based meals that still have plenty of plant-based protein, and you're not gonna die from protein deficiency, and are great for meal prep. So I'll end my ramble now and let's get into the video. First up, we're going to be making some lemon poppy seed oatmeal. This is a twist on a classic oatmeal flavor. I like how it's light and refreshing because of the lemon juice. So we're going to start out by adding some steel cut oats to a pot plus some nut milk. I'm using homemade nut milk here, walnut milk. That's why it looks a little bit more fluffy. Then we're also going to add some vanilla extract and maple syrup and lemon juice. And then we're just going to cook this pretty much like any way you cook oatmeal. So I use steel cut oatmeal for this recipe. It cooks in about 15 to 20 minutes. The full instructions are in the blog post, but if you don't have steel cut oats, you could definitely make this with rolled oats or quick cooking oats as well. The cook time will just be a little bit faster. So once the oats have cooked to your liking, we're going to add some poppy seeds and stir those in. I like my oatmeal on a little bit of the thinner side because it thickens more in the fridge when I save it for meal prep later. So yeah, just definitely keep that in mind. So this is the texture of it right now, but know that it's going to thicken to pretty much solid overnight. You can thin it out with a little extra nut milk or water when you're ready to serve it. And you can really enjoy this any way you like. My favorite way to top it off is with some fresh or frozen blueberries and a dollop of vegan yogurt, but it also be great with almond butter, sliced banana, or even just plain on its own. And yeah, it's just really good and satisfying. I love this flavor combination. So next up for lunch, we're going to be making some curried kale salads. And first we're going to make our curry tahini dressing, which is very, very simple to make. You're going to need some runny, high quality tahini, some garlic, some lemon juice again, some curry powder, some water to help thin the dressing out a little bit, and last but not least, we're just going to add a touch of salt to help balance out the flavors. So then you're just going to blend this all up. You don't have to make this in a blender, it's just a little bit faster. You could totally whisk all of the ingredients together in a bowl as well, but it comes out nice and thick, and I love the curry powder flavor, and I just love how this dressing is so simple to make, and it just packs a big punch, and it doesn't take a lot of your time. So now we're going to take that dressing and mix it into our curry kale salad. The salad itself is pretty simple. We're going to start with some kale, and like always, I highly encourage you to massage your kale. So here we're just adding some of the curry tahini dressing to the kale, and then you're just going to take your hands and get right in there. Your hands going to get a little bit messy, but the kale is going to soften. You'll see it become a little bit more translucent, and you can also see right here it's shrinking in size, which makes it a lot more easy to digest and just softer and more tender and easier to eat. Then we're going to add in the rest of our salad ingredients, which include some shredded carrots, chickpeas, pickled red onions, slivered almonds, and raisins. The recipe for the pickled red onions is on my blog, but if you don't feel like making those, you could also just use a thinly sliced red onion or a thinly sliced shallot as well. So you're just going to mix everything together until it's well incorporated, and then you're good to go. The good thing about kale is that it's a hearty vegetable, so it will last for a while in the fridge. I would recommend just massaging the kale in a little bit of dressing, and then afterwards, you can just store the leftover dressing in a sealable container, take it into work, or if you're working from home, keep it here, and then just add it to this salad right before you serve it. I really like this salad because the kale is nice and hearty, which is more filling, and then you also have the chickpeas and almonds for some protein, healthy fats, and it's just a really good combination between chewy things and crunchy things and soft things, which I really look for in a salad. Then last but not least, for dinner, we're going to be making some sweet and smoky bean bowls. And to start out, we're going to make our sweet and smoky beans. First up, we're going to blend our sauce together in a blender. We're going to need some red onion,
some garlic, some roasted red peppers, and some fire roasted tomatoes. You can use regular ones as well if you're in a pinch. And then we're also going to add some seasonings. Here we're adding smoked paprika, cumin, and black pepper. And then we're just going to add a touch of water to blend everything together a little bit more smoothly, and then process until thick, smooth, and creamy. The sauce is made from pretty much pantry friendly and shelf stable ingredients, but it has so much flavor, especially depth of flavor and smokiness, and I love it. So now we're going to just pour it into a pot and then add our white beans. You can use really any bean you want for this recipe. I like how white beans are generally more soft and creamy, so here I'm using cannellini beans. This will also work with Great Northern beans, navy beans, or other softer beans. You could use this with pinto beans. You could even do it with chickpeas. It'll just be a little bit heartier. But basically, we're just going to bring everything to a boil and then simmer it. This is going to help the flavors infuse into the bean and also cook out some of that raw garlic taste. And as the sauce simmers, also more water is going to evaporate, so the sauce is going to get thicker. So once the sauce looks a little bit like this, as you can see, the beans are nicely coated. It's cooked down a little bit. It's nice and luscious. We are done, so we can go ahead and set that aside. But actually, while we're cooking our beans, we're going to be roasting some veggies on the stovetop to complete our bowls. And we're also going to be cooking some quinoa. I think you guys know how to cook quinoa. Just add it to a pan, 2 times the amount of water, bring it to a boil, cover, reduce heat to simmer, cook it for 15 minutes, yada, yada, yada. So we're going to get that started, and then we're also going to cook some veggies up. And recently, I've really been obsessed with these veggies. So here I'm chopping up some parsnips, and then I'm also going to be chopping up some fennel. I just want to say, I think these flavors work really well with the beans, but regular veggies will also work too, so just use what you have on hand. Sweet potatoes would be really good. Mushrooms would even be really good. I'm just using kind of veggies that are heartier and have more of like an earthy flavor to them. So here I'm using beets, and you're just going to peel your beets, chop them up. I also just posted a recipe recently for oven roasted beets that aren't chopped like this, so if you want to check that out, I'll link that below too, along with this recipe. But basically, you're going to chop your veggies, and here I am adding the fennel and the chopped parsnips to a bowl and just drizzling them with a little bit of oil, stirring them up, also with a pinch of salt just to coat them, and then placing them on a baking tray. If you don't want to add oil and you just want to dry roast these, that's fine. I just think that these vegetables tend to dry out too much when you roast them without any oil. You just need to add a little bit, and it goes a long way. And then after, we're just going to use the same bowl and add in our beets. I wanted to add some seasonings to the beets because I know some people complain that they're a little bit too earthy. So here I added some cumin, which is a nice, not earthy spice, but it has some well-rounded flavor to it. And I think it helps to balance the earthiness of the beets that some people don't like. So again, I'm adding a sprinkle of salt and a drizzle of oil, mixing that all up. And then we're going to put it on the same baking tray with the fennel and parsnips, and then just spread that all around until it's nice and even, and pop those into the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes until they're tender and baked to your liking. So then it's time to assemble. Our quinoa has cooked. It's nice and fluffy. Wow, look how beautiful. Also, if you don't like quinoa, you can use brown rice, white rice, any other grain that you happen to have in your pantry. And then our veggies are going to come out of the oven looking a little bit like this. So we're looking for some slight brownness and crispiness around the edges. If you're using a silicone mat and you flip the veggies over, you might also see that they're more golden on the bottom as well. So now it is time to assemble. So this could comfortably serve 4 people. If you eat more, you can double it. If you eat less, you can cook less, but we're just going to add some quinoa to the bowl, add some beans, add some veggies, and then option to also top it with some freshly chopped herbs. Here I'm using parsley. I think cilantro would actually work pretty well here too. And I like how the beans are nice and saucy because the quinoa doesn't really have any flavoring on it. So once you mix everything up, it all gets coated in that yummy sauce. And here I just wanted to show you the meal prep option as well if you have to take your work with you or just prefer to pre-portion everything out too.
Alright guys, and that's it for this video. Leave a comment down below if you like this style of videos and if you'd like to see more meal prep videos, and if you have any other themes, like maybe I do one without beans, or maybe I do a grain-free meal prep that is also vegan, or if you have maybe nut-free, that'd probably be a good one. But if you have any suggestions for things like that to do for future meal preps, definitely let me know in the comments below too. I'd be happy to film that for you guys. And as always, if you're looking for even more meal prep inspiration, don't forget to check out all these recipes down below. They're linked to my blog post. You can also save them to Pinterest. And I have a whole playlist of meal prep videos on my YouTube channel, and honestly pretty much all the recipes on my blog that aren't like desserts are pretty meal prep friendly, and I usually include in the recipe like how you can meal prep it and make it the best it could be for a meal prep type of thing. So with all that being said, you got plenty of recipe options and plenty of recipe inspo. So while you're waiting for the next video, don't wait and just get to meal prepping. But if you want to see more videos from me, make sure you are subscribed. If you're not, it's pretty easy. You probably know how to do it. Just click the little button down there. I post 2 new recipe videos every single week revolving around vegan food and a vegan lifestyle. So if that's interesting to you, you know what to do. And I think that's it. So I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and I hope you continue to have one. And thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.